talking about my first 3 months of running a small business in crochet, doing markets, online sales, and all of that. I'm going to talk about how much I made, how much I spent, what kind of fees, things that come up, where my primary sources of income were. My notes are on my phone, that's why I'm looking at my phone. Just a little bit about social media and analytics and all of that, and kind of how I got started in my first 3 months. I'd say I'm doing pretty well. I know that's not always the case, and I think I did get pretty lucky because I started January. Pretty much December 30th or December 31st is when I made my first Instagram post after I made my account. I only started crocheting in November of 2022. It's currently almost the end of March 2023. Yeah, January, February, March. Yeah, I don't know why I had to count that, but that's 3 months. When I started, my first market was a Valentine's Day market, and I sell flowers, so it kind of just fell all in the right place, and I ended up making a pretty good amount of money. But I'll start from the beginning. I'm going to start with talking about expenses. In total, in 3 months, I've spent about $900 Canadian on expenses. Now, to be fair, well, let's just round it up to 1,000 because I think I spent $200 on yarn that I didn't upload to my Excel sheet yet. But a lot of that stuff I haven't used yet. For example, I've spent it on yarn, with flowers. There's a lot like the stem wire. There's like a different type of wire for certain flowers, like the petals of the tulips and the leaves. Use a thinner wire. Glue gun, glue. Keychain rings for the keychains, floral wrap for wrapping the bouquets and bouquet bags. Everything for my display I had to purchase, except for the stuff that we had around the house or what my boyfriend had. So I really started straight from scratch. I didn't have a lot of yarn either because when I first started crocheting, I used this really thin mini yarn from the dollar store. So when I started selling and I made these larger flowers, I had to buy a different type of yarn. So this is literally starting from scratch, like starting from zero, from nothing, all of the expenses to basically start a small business in crochet. I just feel so weird calling it a small business because to me it's still just a hobby. But wow, sorry, how rude of me. Let me put my phone on silent. Sorry. Anyway, market display, if you have to buy a table, chairs, what else? Like anything on the display, shelving, display shelves, like those acrylic shelves or whatever you want to use, vases, baskets, anything like that. It all adds up. As well, there's also registering your domain if you use Shopify or a Squarespace or whatever kind of website you use. I have a Shopify website and it's free for the first 3 months, so I think it's like $1 for the first 3 months or something, so I didn't actually include that. But registering my domain, I think, was like $20 for a year. I could be wrong. I might just be making that up, but I think it's something like that. And when I was applying for markets, some of the markets that I applied to required for you to have a website. Now that I'm looking back on it, most of them don't. I think I applied for some pretty fancy bougie ones, which I got rejected from anyway, but they required you to have a website, so I put one together really frantically. I did spend like 70 bucks on editing software for YouTube. We'll find out if that's worth it. Subscribe. Subscribe and like this video so I can get to the point where I can get ads and then make my money back. Although I didn't have to buy the camera, which was nice. Because my boyfriend had it and I didn't have to buy the tripod. Actually, I did. I bought it for like $15 off some lady on Facebook Marketplace, and it's broken, so one leg is covered in tape. So she refunded me, but now I have a free tripod and I don't mind that it looks ratchet. Other fees include like any kind of packaging. I had to buy paper bags when I go to markets to pack stuff in, little bags for keychains, business cards, and I bought little hang tags to put in the back of the packaging for my keychains. And again, with those things, I bought so many that I still have like a huge case of business cards and hang tags, and to be honest, Vistaprint messed up my business cards and they're like really stripy looking in the back instead of a solid color, so they refunded me for those. But anyway, I think it was like 60 bucks for 500. I think I had a coupon, but they always have coupons, so I'm not sponsored. I don't have a coupon, sorry. Sponsor me. Sorry. And the most recent fee that I had to pay is I registered my business under sole proprietorship. I don't know a lot about all of that stuff, but I did watch a TikTok about how you're not supposed to charge taxes unless you are a sole proprietorship. I've been charging taxes this whole time because I'm under the assumption that eventually I'm going to have it all registered and everything. And with that, I paid $300, and I have the price summary here of what it cost me. I'll put it on the screen if I remember, but it cost me $30 as filing service fees. $60, it literally says government and other fees. This is also in Alberta, Canada. So if you are not in Alberta, Canada, this may cost something different. $0 for the registration queue. Nice. Don't know what that is. $50 for a name approval fee and also a nuance report. And again, I am awful and I did not look any of this up. I literally they asked me if I needed it or if I had one, and I didn't have one, so I ticked yes. And if you click no, you had to put in your number or whatever, and I don't have that, so I was like, I guess I have to put yes. My CRA business number, $50. GST, HST account setup, $50. Is that everything? I think so. I'll put a screenshot up on the screen anyway so I can show you what I missed in case I missed anything, but yeah. That was expensive. I'm pretty lucky because I started in January, literally, like I didn't make anything until after January 1st, so it makes good timing that I have like a whole year before I have to learn how to do taxes really. I do my own taxes for my like regular work job anyway, but it's pretty easy because it's just a T4 and you just submit all the numbers. So ask me next year in tax season to see if I figured out how to do that. I really don't want to pay for an accountant. I'm trying to keep everything low. This like $900 is also me trying to keep my budget pretty low. Other than the $200 I spent on yarn at Michael's in the last video might have been a little bit unnecessary, but I'm also doing a lot of markets. Oh, you know what I forgot? Vendor fees. That is also a big money sink, but very necessary. They ranged from $40 to $125. That's what I paid for. But when you're actually looking at markets, at least in Calgary, they go up to like $250 for a market. And usually those are at least 2-day markets. I was too afraid to sign up for any of those because still haven't done a lot of markets. So I've also never gone to those markets, so I don't know if the audience at that market would be good for my product. Most of the ones I signed up for are pretty cheap. The first one I ever did was $75, the second one was $40, which was like insanely cheap. They're both 1 day, but that's fine. The next one I'm doing is $75, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bust, so it was one of the ones I signed up for frantically at the beginning of the year because you have to sign up so far in advance, and I had this weird feeling that I was missing all the signups. So I just started applying to every single thing, and then this was the first thing that accepted me, and I was like, yes, immediately pay, sign up, take me. And now that I'm looking at it, like the advertisements are not very good, and it just doesn't seem that litty. So we'll see. The person running it has also sent out emails like, hey, why didn't you guys RSVP on Facebook? And like, no one uses Facebook anymore, and like, we'll see. You know what? Who am I to judge? Maybe it'll be good. It'll also be my first time going to a market that is run by a different person, because the first two were both run by Voyen. She has a YouTube channel. I'll put her on the screen. She runs Cuties Club. There's gonna be a Cuties Club Cafe coming up in the summer. I'll put all the links somewhere. I don't know if I know how to put links actually. I'll put a screenshot of their profile. I know how to do that. I'll put that on the screen. Ooh. But yeah, so I really like her markets. They're very fun. The audience they love cute stuff. It's called Cuties Club, so I'm a big fan. I was wearing their sweater in my last video. You can go to her website to buy one of those. But yeah, there's that. Vendor fees. Yeah, I basically passed on everything greater than $150 because I wasn't sure if I would be able to make it back, and I wasn't willing to make that risk. At this point, I have signed up for a crap ton of markets because I also, as somebody with like a job already, I have money that I can pour into this. If you're a student or somebody like younger, you know, high school, university student, or you have, I don't know, student loans and stuff, you might not necessarily have that flexibility, and you kind of have to go one market at a time, make the money, and then spend it for the next market. So, you know, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I bought one market, potentially two in April, two in May, two in June, one in July, two in August, and one in September. And that's how far I'm booked out right now. And that was a lot of money. How many did I say? March, April, May, June, July, August, 5. We'll say like 10 at like, where's my calculator? I actually don't need a calculator. If I average like $100 a market, which I think it might even be a little bit more than that. We'll say 125 and 10 markets, that's like $12.50 already. So that's a decent chunk of money that I'm spending. Kind of risky, kind of wouldn't recommend it. This is also my current fun hobby. So like I'm okay spending, my last fun hobby was aquariums, and I spent a lot of money on that. This is like pretty tame compared to that. But I also started a shrimp breeding Kijiji thing, and I sold blue shrimp. I'll put a picture. It was intense. This is a little bit more easy. But yeah, so that's all my expenses, pretty much. There's probably a little bit more here and there. There's fees, like for Square, when I go to markets, there's processing fees and everything like that. In my brain right now, I'm thinking, oh, the tax that I charged on Square will cover that, but later on when I do my income taxes, I assume I have to pay taxes, and then I give them that money or something. I literally have no idea how taxes work. This is what I currently think, and then maybe I'll watch this again next year and be like, that was really dumb. But I also don't know what writing it off means. Like, if I write it off, who pays for that? Like, what am I writing off? If I buy something for my business and I write it off, does the government pay for that? Like, the whole thing? No way. Like, just the tax part, right? But that's not a lot. So is that even worth it? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Income sources. Let's go to that. So there's a whole bunch of different sources of income when you look at online, or you're starting a small business. There's markets, which is usually not anybody's first choice. There's online, like Etsy, which I think is where most people go to. You can have your own Shopify website or Squarespace shop. Facebook Marketplace. What else did I write down? But these are all viable options. And I have Etsy, and I opened that I think also sometime in January, and in total I have made $10 off 2 orders for $5, and they were both for patterns, like how to make the flowers. I have like instructions on Etsy, and it's in a PDF, and they pay $5, and it's a digital thing, and it's great. It's super easy. It's also super saturated, and there's not a big market for that on Etsy because every flower possible ever has already been made and uploaded and is for sale, and you can find it. And honestly, you could probably find some of them for free on YouTube too. But I found that, at least for me, Etsy did not promote my listings that much. I don't know if it's because I posted stuff that was so saturated. I did post one keychain on there, but it hasn't sold. So yeah, I don't know. I think when I look at the stats, like my weekly stats, it'll say like 90% of the traffic to the website is brought in from me, like from my link tree that people click on from my Instagram to go to, or from like anywhere else at a market, I usually have a QR code to my link tree. They click on that and then they go to my Etsy. But Etsy itself doesn't actually bring in that much traffic, at least for me. It could be different for you. It could be different depending on what you're selling, and how niche what you're selling is, what your product is. I've heard stuff about their fees and things. I know it costs 27 cents, I think, a month or something like that to keep your listing up. But I don't know. I literally haven't even cashed out my $10. I have to upload like my banking information, and I just haven't been bothered because I'm so annoyed. But I was under the impression when I signed up for Etsy that they would do a lot of advertising for me, and that's how I would gain traction, and then people would go to my Instagram, that's how people would find me, and I was very wrong. Definitely very wrong. The other place I post my patterns is on Ribblr, which is an app for crocheting, knitting. There's a lot of patterns and stuff on there, and on that I have made $162 in 3 months. I did go like super ham in, I think, January or February, uploading flower patterns. I would just come up with patterns. I'm really bad at following patterns. Like I just do it visually. Whatever I see is how I make it. I think I followed a bunch of patterns at the beginning to make different flowers, just to kind of learn the different techniques. Actually, I didn't even make flowers. I think I made like plushies, and I made like a bookmark or something. I followed some at the beginning, but I'm just halfway through, I'm just like, yeah, I'll just figure it out. So I ended up writing my own after I made some. So I do have quite a few flowers on there. They also take a fee, and I think they also have a thing where if you share your link to your Ribblr on different websites and people click on it, they reduce your fee. What else? So that's Etsy. Oh, I also have an online shop. I've had 0 orders, and then I just put everything out of stock because I went to Canada Post to ask them how much it would ship a keychain. Literally like one of these with a key ring on it. And she tried to fit it in the mail slot to see if it would fit as letter mail, and I think it's like 2-ish centimeters or something. Like, this doesn't fit. So now it has to be shipped as a parcel. And if it's shipped as a parcel, the minimum shipping, even if it weighs, I think it was like 200 grams with the mailer, and it was $18 within Canada. So I was immediately like, my original plan was to do a shop launch on April 5th and have a bunch of small things that are easy to ship and easy to deal with, but that's not gonna work. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've been told I can just like squish it down and like put it in and like hope for the best, because the actual slot that you put your mail in is pretty big. This is me pretending to open the mail, the thing you drop your mail into at like the end of the road on your block. But there's a rule that it has to fit like a 2 centimeter. That's why I keep putting my hand like this gap, and this is, I think I measured like 5 centimeters, but it's squishy, but it's not that squishy. Like, this is like the maximum squish. So I could like vacuum seal it or something, but it's just a lot of work, and even then it's kind of a risk, because if anything like pops or the seal breaks, or if I just squish it and hope for the best and it doesn't get there, then I'm out products. And I'm pricing these at $15 each because it takes me that long to make it, and I know it's kind of like, you kind of hear like, oh man, she's selling keychains for $15. You're buying a keychain for $15? It's kind of a lot, but I know, I kind of regret making so many. I should have spent more time making flowers, but now I have a crap ton of peaches and persimmons and strawberries, and hopefully they do okay at the next markets, but at least in my brain I can be like, oh, I don't have to make keychains for the next year. Just made all my stock for the next year. But yeah, 0 online shop. So where I made my most money is in 2 places. One is actually Facebook Marketplace, and the second one is Markets. Markets, I made more than Facebook Marketplace, but I think on Facebook Marketplace I posted crochet flowers right before, not before Valentine's Day, I think like last week of January. Actually, yeah, that's like right before Valentine's Day. So like a couple of weeks before, and people were going ham. I think I like got enough clicks on my post that Facebook promoted it. I don't remember how many, and I don't remember like how many sales or anything I made, but in total I literally made like $2,000 on Facebook Marketplace, which is crazy. But it was so stressful. I've now closed it because it was insanely stressful. I was only doing custom orders. People would tell me, here's what I want, these are the flowers I want in the bouquet. I would tell them how much it would cost. They were supposed to e-transfer me or pick up and give me cash, and then I would, you know, give them the flowers. That's the whole transaction. But like the number of times people are like, is this available? Is this available? You know, hey, is this available? And then I say yes and they don't respond. Or people will ask me for like a certain, can you do this? Can you do this? And then it's like something, it's like not even crochet flowers, and it's like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Or people asking for like weird color combinations and then not paying and then disappearing. That was my mistake actually. I should have charged first. I started charging people the full amount before I would even make it because so many people would disappear after. And even when I was charging half the amount, I got like these weird, hey, can you make brown and purple roses? I need 12 of them. I will pay the whole amount, here's half, and then they would disappear, and like it wasn't even... I also was really not pricing my stuff high enough then, because I just looked competitively and I was like, wow, these people are only pricing their, like a rose for like $6. I should price mine for $5. But it takes me like 30 minutes to make one rose, and back then it probably took me even longer because I wasn't good at it yet. I didn't even have a glue gun then. I was using like white glue and then holding it and then cutting a thin strip of tape to like secure it and then wire it. God, that was such a mistake. But yeah, I really burnt out doing that. And then I did the market, and it was so good because I could make whatever I want. I can bring it to the market. If you want to buy it, you buy it. If you don't want to buy it, then whatever. And in the last 2 markets, I've made more than what I made at with Facebook Marketplace, which is really good, and hopefully continues throughout the summer, although I know my next one, like I said, might not be that good, but it'll be good for me to experience a shoddy one. I kind of had it in my brain that after the first market I would do better in every market coming up, like just whoop, but my first one was literally a best case scenario because I was selling flowers and it was a Valentine's Day market. So my expectations are lowered a little bit. I've come back to the ground, but I'm still really excited for the ones that are coming up. What else? Okay, so since I'm talking about my first 3 months of small business, and I feel that I've been pretty successful. I kind of want to talk about how I grew my social media following. I'm not huge. I have, let's see, I think I have 600 something followers on Instagram, which is not huge. To be honest, I feel like for me, having an online following isn't as important for me because I usually sell at markets. While it can influence people who maybe wouldn't necessarily go to the market, or they're just thinking about going, to actually go if they really like my product and they want to pick something up, it's more important for people who do online sales because that will be traffic that they can directly redirect to their website. For me, it's more just for fun, and I'm like super obsessed with analytics. I don't know if you've seen the analytics on Instagram, oh my god, or if you've seen the analytics on YouTube. YouTube is so fun for me right now because they have so much stuff that I can look at. Like, I can literally see what people are watching before they click on my video, and I can see what people are watching when they see my thumbnail. Like, oh, someone was watching Apple Cheek's video and they saw your thumbnail and they didn't want to watch you, and I'm like, you know what, I get it, but what an honor. And then somebody was watching her and then clicked on my video. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. You watched her and now you want to watch me? Welcome. But yeah, it's really fun for me. Instagram too, like when I link anything on a story, I can see how many people click on it or something like that. Yeah, I used to play World of Warcraft like really intensely, and they have there's like raids in WoW, okay? And you have logs that you can look at after each raid, and there's like different bosses in each raid, and you can see like how well you did, and there's like percentages. I was I was obsessed. Okay, I won't go into it, but I'm a 99 parser, okay? I was really good, okay? Just really obsessed. So yeah, I'm obsessed with that, but it helps. If you want to grow your social media following, it helps to look at what's doing well, what's not doing well. Reels are in particular crazy because when you look at who sees your reel, most of the people that see my reels, not all of them, but sometimes, are people that don't follow me. And that's really important because those are people that could potentially start following me because they see the reel. While most of my posts just go to people that already follow me, so it's kind of just, hey, here's a new thing I made, but it doesn't get it out to more people. I also get a lot more followers. Like every time I did a market, the number of followers increased. But again, for me, I feel like it's not as important because I only do local sales. But we'll see. It might change in the future, or if I ever decide to drive to Vancouver or something, never mind. I'm not going to do that. I did that once, 12-hour drive, never again. Sorry, I'm not doing that. But yeah, very important. The other thing is, oh yeah, I guess there's also TikTok. TikTok is really fun because I get a lot of clicks, but I haven't seen a lot of follow through that actually comes from TikTok. Like people don't necessarily always go to your Instagram because they like your TikTok. Linktree is really good if you want to put all of your links in one spot, because you can put one link in your Instagram or your TikTok bio or something, and then that will link to your website. Like it'll have different buttons and it'll link to your website or your YouTube or your Instagram, and people can click on whatever, and you can see who clicks on what, how many people have clicked on what. You can see more if you buy their thing. I don't buy it because I'm cheap and it doesn't matter that much to me, but you can do that to get really into it. But yeah, in summary, Etsy sucks. I'm so sorry, Etsy. But you just haven't done that much for me. I don't know if it's my product. Is it because I don't put out shop announcements? Like, I don't know. I tried a bunch of stuff and nobody sees my stuff. Recently, more people have favorited my shop and like favorited the items, but like it doesn't lead to any sales, so what do you want me to say, you know? Yeah, that is my first 3 months of kind of running this whole shebang. It's been really fun. It's been really fun. And I have decreased the amount of work I do at my job to do this, and it's slowly starting to be worth it, so that's really good. Although it does take a lot of time, and I'm still dealing with all of this, like being confident in my pricing and stuff like that, and trying out new things. I do get to a point where sometimes I start thinking in the mindset of like, oh, I want to make something that would be easy to sell at the $5 or the $10 range. But then it's like, oh man, I really want to make this other thing. I think it would be really cool, but it's going to take me like 8 hours to make it, and nobody is going to pay me that much for this thing. So should I even make it? Like, there's like making stuff for me, and then there's making stuff for selling, and it's a whole balance. But it's fun. It's still fun. It's just more thinking, but sometimes I just want to crochet. I don't want to think. I just want to sit down and like, you know? Yeah, okay, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Thanks for joining me on this very chatty, too much chatting, a lot of chatting video. Hopefully I offered you some insights on maybe trying Facebook Marketplace. I guarantee you it'll be frustrating because people are just so annoying sometimes. I'm so patient. I try to be so patient. I'm not that patient actually. But I did try really hard. And people will just ask you if it's available so many times. And yeah. But leave a like on this video if you like these kind of talking videos. Most of my videos so far, I try to overlay talking with something else because it feels weird that somebody would want to see me on the screen for that long because I don't want to see me on the screen for that long. I'm unconfident. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see the next one, and make sure it goes on your homepage so you can click it. I can see when that happens. I like it. And yeah, I think that's it. If you're in Calgary, my next market is on April 8th. Might not be that busy. Come and chill out. It'll be on my Instagram. Go to my Instagram. Okay. April is sleeping, but here's some April footage because I haven't been including her. This is our fried chicken toy. We call it Chimkin. She's sleeping. Look at this beauty queen. Wow, gorgeous, beautiful. Such grace. She's a little fat. Okay, bye.